Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Winning AI Search, Winning Search AI and Beyond with Ahrefs. I'm your host, Andre. I'm a product marketer here at Ahrefs. And in the next hour, I'm going to walk you through the basics of how to track your AI search traffic in Ahrefs, how to tie that with generating content that gets ranked in Google and also in AI search. And probably we'll have time for Ahrefs MCP, and you'll see what I mean by that. Okay, until we wait, let's wait for like 2 or 3 minutes, for people to join. Please let me know where are you from. I'm based in Europe, so leave a comment in the chat where you're from and what kind of job roles, what kind of roles you have. Okay, 1 second. Chat is disabled. Um, 1 second. Things we looks like we have a small glitch. The chat is here, but you guys don't have access to it. Can you at least see the Q&A panel? Somebody asked, okay, chat is disabled. Yep, gotcha. I can see that. Not sure. Let me check, Mohammed, if I'm gonna allow you to talk. No. Yeah, my bad. Let me go back. Okay, I'm sorry for that. I'm not sure why the chat is not working. Could you please write me in the Q&A panel? There's a Q&A panel. You should see it. I can see your answers or your questions and answers there, so we can communicate like that. There's no background noise. I'm having a microphone here. So, Carlo, you should be fine. Okay, Anonymous 10 in New Jersey, USA. So finally somebody's courageous. Kansas, sounds like another video might be playing in your background. Okay, you're right. Although everything is muted on my end, so I'm not sure what you're hearing. Seattle, Können Schmette. Okay, I assume you're from Turkey. Robin, Dominican Republic, website content manager for Radical. Okay, somebody more specific. Winnipeg, Canada. Hey, Michael. So only from the Canada and US. I was expecting some people to join from Europe as well, but apparently we don't have that many people interested in AI search across Europe, or perhaps it's too late for them. Um, yeah, again, sorry for the chat. Please leave your comments here. I'll present the agenda. And okay, Luis from Brazil. Awesome. Somebody's breaking the ice for Latin America. Yeah, chat is disabled. I'm sorry for that. I do not know how to make it available. Tried here. Probably my settings are jammed up right before it. So we're gonna use the Q&A. Webinar chat. 1 more second. We can see our messages. Anybody? Everyone. Okay, I think everybody could see me. So hello, let's do a test. And welcome to the webinar. Yeah, it's our first time doing this via Zoom, so apologies for the problem. Can anybody see the chat now? Yep, all good with the chat? Please leave some comments in the chat. Can't see you there. Hmm. Let me check again. Okay, now you should be able to chat. Sorry, found it. Carlo, I think there's something on your end. My mic is here, so should be working. Awesome. So, without further ado and respect to your time, thanks again for tuning in. Again, my name is Andre. I'm the head of product marketing here at Ahrefs, and I hope that in the next hour you'll learn more about how to use Ahrefs to track your AI search traffic. And let me just share the agenda for today's webinar. And let me share my screen. I think it's visible to everybody, right? Awesome. So as I said, winning in search, AI, and beyond. And today we're going to talk about five main things. Uh, the format is pretty easy. I cannot see your questions while I present, so I would go individually over each of those topics, and I would then stop to answer any kind of questions. I'm going to do this for like 40 minutes, and after that, I'm going to do a 20 minutes Q&A where you can fire up any kind of questions. You can also put them under the Q&A panel, and I'm going to make sure that I'm going to reply, give my best reply to all of them. So for today's agenda, we're going to go over how to track your traffic from AI search, how to spot AI visibility gaps in AI search, and benchmark yourself against the competition. Once we do that, we're also going to check your competitors, how they are creating content with the help of AI and whether they're not there's some possibility to outrank them or to syndicate your own content. You'll see what I'm talking about. And we're also going to go into the phase where we create content that also ranks on Google, but also gets picked up in AI search. Now, I didn't say gets ranked in AI search specifically because you want to get brand mentions. That's a specific, a different topic than SEO. And finally, if we have some time, I'm going to show you how you can use Ahrefs MCP. This is more or less like a an API, a safe way to access our API and to chat in your preferred chatbot, I don't know, ChatGPT, Claude, and then ask them to do work for you using Ahrefs data. Okay, so I'm gonna go back, see how everybody's doing. Let me pop the chat here. All right. Do we get the recording sent to us after? Yes, the recording is live already on our Ahrefs tutorial YouTube channel. You can view it there. We're going to keep it, I think, 2 weeks up until we do the next one. So you have plenty of time to review it, send it to other folks in your company, and so on. Matthew, I think you have a problem. Everybody can chat right now, making sure this is possible. So hosts and panelists can chat with everyone. With everyone, sorry. And attendees can chat with hosts and panelists. So, are we ready? Give me some thumbs up. I want to see what's the mojo here. And please, you're raising hands, but I'm not going to answer them. Again, I'm going to cover 5 topics. After each topic, I'm going to stop and answer the questions 2 or 3 that are at the top of my head. And at the end, we're going to have a 20 minutes Q&A session. You can save them or you can pile them up under the Q&A panel. I'll give my best to answer them then. All right, so let's dive into the first topic, which is how to track traffic from AI search. This is just for you to understand what kind of points we're going to touch upon this topic. Essentially, we're going to use Ahrefs Web Analytics. I'm going to show you in a few minutes. This is more or less the report that you're going to access. And I'm also going to tell you what kind of things, false positives, you should pay attention to. So let me jump into Ahrefs. And now everybody knows Ahrefs as a traditional SEO tool, but we've now made the pivot to a marketing platform that's AI powered. And we're also stepping into the GEO, AEO game so that it's possible for you to track all that traffic coming from ChatGPT, Perplexity, Microsoft Copilot, AI overviews, you name it. So I'm inside Ahrefs, and as soon as you log into Ahrefs, you're going to be greeted by this dashboard. And the dashboard contains essentially all the essential projects that you visit on a constant basis. Now, what I would do here is I would go to Web Analytics. This is our own Google Analytics alternative. It's free up to 1 million visits. And as opposed to them, we're gonna show you how to get traffic, how to surface traffic coming from those AI chatbots, AI systems, name them however you want. Something that, again, is not that intuitive in Google Analytics. So I went for word count. This is one of our websites. It's a word counter essentially. And I've got the performance data here. So you'll probably be used with this kind of chart inside Google Analytics. What I want to show you is that if you have a reputable brand, you're already good at doing SEO, then you probably might already start seeing some traffic being referred by those AI chatbots. And the way to do that is to actually go to the traffic sources widget here and channels. And as you can see, we have search, direct. So these are people who are directly typing in your domain. They know about your brand already. They have brand recency. These are internal, email, social, and right below we have AI search. So in our case, wordcount.com, approximately 0.1%, that's 191 visits, so clicks, are coming from AI search chatbots. And if I click on it and go to sources, I can also see a breakdown of what AI search chatbots are sending traffic to me. So in our case, it's ChatGPT. Of course, this has the larger share, followed by Microsoft Copilot. Who would have thought? I would have guessed it's Perplexity. Then it's Gemini, neck to neck with Perplexity. And we also have one reputable mention from Claude. Now, again, this is the place where you need to start. You enter into Ahrefs Web Analytics, you go to traffic sources, channels, AI search, and then if you want to see a full breakdown of each of those AI search assistants, go to sources. Now, there's one caveat here. Beware of false positives because, let me clear up this filter. Because not all those AI chatbots are properly attributing the traffic to you. Most of that kind of traffic can also be placed under direct or unknown. So if somebody is interested in it, 1 second, I think, yeah, all good. If somebody thinks that you probably have more traffic sent by those AI search assistants, search engines, and it's probably going here to direct or unknown because those AI search engines are not properly attributing that traffic. We actually conducted a study and we show which of those engines have proper attribution. So Copilot, Web, Perplexity, and Claude, they all have proper attribution. When it comes to ChatGPT, Gemini, it's mainly a case where they do have attribution for the web version, but they do not have a attribution for the desktop versions. So that's one of the ways where your traffic from those AI search can be diluted to direct or unknown. Another thing to do with this, another false positive, are hallucinations. So not most of the time, but sometimes those AI search engines might recommend fictional URLs that are not part of your site structure. This happened to us as well. We also did a study about it. I'll leave those in the chat in a few seconds. So for Ahrefs.com, we did this study for Ahrefs.com, 3.6% of the traffic went to hallucinate pages. So these are fake pages that don't exist in your site structure, but AI is still recommending them. This is not possible yet to see those kind of pages in Ahrefs, but we're working on it. So beware of this second false positive. So this was the first topic I wanted to touch upon. Let me see the chat again. Nope, sorry. I'm going to paste those studies here. Do you have some questions so far? Everything clear how you can actually see whether or not you get traffic from AI search? Leave some comments, thumbs up. Again, I'm going to answer 1 or 2 questions which are top of my mind. Yes, Zil, you will get a recording. It's available on Ahrefs tutorials. Let's focus on questions about this particular topic, not recordings and stuff like that. Paula, you can chat. Please chat. I see you've raised your hand. Anonymous Stanley, what's the purpose of these hallucinated pages? Well, none, but they can actually be a broken or dead experience for people who land on ChatGPT Perplexity. They want to know more about your brand, but those kind of AI search engines uh, redirect them, point them to a page that doesn't exist. So your main job as an SEO or marketer is to actually make sure you don't have those hallucinated pages and that you have redirects for them, or that you probably create new pages so you capture that kind of traffic. Um, I hope I've answered your question. So this was answered live already. Somebody says, do you have to have web analytics set up for you to see those AI traffic? In our case, yes, but you can also do that in Google Analytics. I think it's much harder to see that there. There's no direct filter. But if you're in web analytics, again, just scroll down to traffic sources, channels, and go to AI search. We're gonna then check all the sources so we see all the AI search engines broken down and how much traffic each of those refer to your website. And Carmen also asks, how will you be able to track the hallucinated pages in the future? We're going to have a filter for it. So probably it's going to be here around pages. And I'm not sure how it's going to look like. It's already been discussed and it's being implemented, but I don't have a release date. You can now do that. I've sent you the link already. I think Patrick already talks about it. Yeah, so you have a Google Sheet where you compile all the page statuses of those hallucinated pages, which will probably be 404s because they're broken or inexistent. And then you probably create them or redirect them to something more relevant on your website that recommends your product or talks about what that AI answer recommends the people to do and to go on your website. Okay. Um, Last question. If you don't see that AI search option, then do you need to upgrade? No. If you don't see the AI search option, it means we didn't pick any kind of AI search traffic from your website, which means your brand is probably low or you have a low DR, domain rating, and you probably need to still work on your SEO because SEO signals are still important and count as answer engine optimization signals. Okay. I've gone through enough questions on this topic. If you have more, leave them in the chat or in the Q&A panel. I'm going to answer them during the final Q&A. So this was how to track traffic from AI search. This is the first step in your journey to rank in those AI search engines. The next step is to actually, if you get mentioned, this is a big if, like somebody asked me, like, if I don't see AI search, then probably you don't have any kind of traffic being recommended from those AI search chatbots. If, and it's a big if you're already seeing traffic, then only then it makes sense to actually optimize for those kinds of brand mentions so that your brand gets picked naturally in those AI chatbots. So this is SEO 2.0. We call it GEO or AEO. It's more or less the same thing. And we're gonna show you two ways to do that. The first way is the free one, of course. I recommend this if you're a very small brand. So for example, I'm gonna go back to our dashboard and go to ahrefs.com. So ahrefs.com in Site Explorer, this is our competitive intelligence tool, and it gives you an overview of how you are performing in AI search and also organic search, that's Google. And you have this widget, it's called AI citations. And it's an AI citations based on an URL. So we have the URL of ahrefs.com, the full subdomain. And I want to see if this URL gets picked up in all of our 5 AI indexes. That's AI overviews, ChatGPT, Perplexity, Gemini, and Copilot. Now, word of caveat here. These are not just mentions, these are citations. So this is a very good metric in the future for you when you want to see whether or not your brand is not just mentioned, but also cited with an actual link in those AI chatbots. And as I said, if you're a small brand, you don't have that many brand mentions, it's good to check this on a monthly basis to see whether or not it increased, by how much, by how many AI citations, and also by how many pages on your website. If you have more established brand and you want to go the next level, then we have, Brand Radar. And this is our AI visibility tool. I'm going to show it in a few seconds. We've revamped it from the ground. It was just launched like 1 or 2 weeks ago. And you're going to have 100 prompts across 5 AI indexes, no setup required. You'll get a complete view of your brand's health. You'll see what I mean in a few seconds. And you can also go beyond branded terms, because most tools of this kind show you only branded terms. Well, you're missing out on some opportunities there. We also show you topics, products, regions, and categories without extra cost. Okay, so let me show you Brand Radar. Brand Radar is right here. As I said, this is the second step in case you already have an established brand and you are not interested, or you want to optimize those brand mentions to get naturally mentioned in those AI chatbots. Now, how does this work? You initially enter your brand, followed by your competitors. And there's also like a niche or a filter within which you can search for those brands. So for the sake of this demo, I'm not going to go with Ahrefs and our competitors. I'm not going to advertise them, but you can also try the demos here below. So in case you want to see how the tool works, you can already do this without having to pay extra. This is an add-on, by the way. You can click on Tesla versus BYD, Rivian, and Lucid. So these are all electric car vehicles brands. And I want to check how is Tesla faring up against BYD, Rivian, and Lucid in all of those chatbots. So ChatGPT, Perplexity, Copilot, Gemini, and also AI overviews. And if I click on it, you will see that you have an overview report. This works more or less like our Site Explorer. So for everybody who's familiar with Site Explorer, you'll get a bunch of reports here on the left, but the most important one is the overview. And as I said, you'll get a complete view of your brand. That means you get an AI share of voice. This is aggregated AI share of voice across all of those LLMs that I talked about. These are the ones available so far, but we're going to add more. So on an average, Tesla is number one among your competitors, has an average of 65.3% AI share of voice. What does that mean? Whenever I enter into those chatbots, I'm being mentioned. I own this kind of brand mention share of voice. We also show you the full picture of your the full health, as you may, of your brand, because we also show you search demand. So this is the search volume growth of your branded terms, whether it's your brand, misspellings of your brand, or if you have any core tools or core products that have your brand inside the name. And the brand mention, sorry, and also web visibility. This is SEO purely. So we show you all the reputable websites that cite you on Google, because these are the AI signals that are picked up by AI search chatbots. As you can see here, you also have search demand and web visibility as separate reports in case you want to see whether or not the search demand for your brand is growing. Hooray, it means you have a profitable business. People are thinking about you. They have brand awareness. Web visibility, it's whether or not you're covered properly on Google by other publications, reputable ones that know about your company. Okay, if I scroll down a bit, let's focus on AI visibility. I can see all the platforms, how many mentions, brand mentions do we have of Tesla. We have only on brand, with others, and others only. Top-cited domains, top-cited pages. What I want to focus here is AI responses. So in case you want to see across which of those chatbots you are mentioned and for which location, let's simplify this. I want to see AI overviews, or let's go for ChatGPT actually, or United States. And you have 555,509 results. Those are prompts, which automakers are worth over $1 billion, so on and so forth, that are mentioning Tesla in their AI answers. That's why it's called AI responses. So for this query, which automakers are worth over $1 billion, Tesla, top of the table, it's already mentioned. Let's go below, find something that's more interesting. Which EV is better than Tesla? So Tesla is still the main reference here, the anchor. You'll probably get information about it. But you'll also get other competitors, so Lucid Air, BYD, Chevrolet Equinox, Porsche, Hyundai, and so on and so forth. Here's something very interesting. With filters, you can also see what kind of opportunities you might optimize for. So it's similar like a content gap inside Explorer. I can click on filter and search for either a query or a response. Let's go for query. See, actually, no, let's go for response. That contains, for example, BYD, but it doesn't contain the response in itself, Tesla. Kind of hard because we're already searching for Tesla and AI responses. But we do have from 5,500 something results, we have 182 where the response doesn't mention Tesla, but should mention BYD and doesn't contain, my bad. 350, and it has to be phrase match. Yeah, 168, my bad. So which electric vehicle is best to buy? It talks about all of those EV brands, but it doesn't talk about Tesla. This is a great way to see, okay, what kind of queries are fresh way for me to get brand mentions in ChatGPT or whatever search chatbot you have at your hand. Cited domains and cited pages are the next ones. I already showed that we kind of show you that for free, but you can also see which of those have preference when it comes to being cited. Let me clear off my filters. Cited pages lets you go more in depth. And we're also going to have topics soon. I cannot show you, but essentially you can cluster all the queries, all the prompts, so to say, let's call them prompts, that belong to a specific topic. Why is this useful? Because if you have a topic and you know which kind of prompts are being collected under each specific topic, mention that specific topic in it, then you know what kind of content to prioritize to get mentioned in those AI search chatbots. I'm not going to go through search demand and web visibility. I just wanted to touch upon the big one, which is the AI visibility part. All of those, all of those AI indexes, because these are AI indexes, let's call them like that. Each of them costs around $199 if you want to go in it. If not, there's a bigger pack that includes all of them. But as I said, this is only if you're an established brand, you already have enough resources to go into optimizing for AEO and GEO. Okay, so do we have some questions here? I think you have a lot. Let's see, I can answer one or two in the chat. Mohammed asks, what is the difference between mentions and citations? How does Ahrefs count each one? Good question. Mention is unlinked mention, brand mention. So it doesn't include any kind of URL in it. A citation is a brand mention that also contains a URL. So in the future, AI citations probably are going to be a bit more important than brand mentions themselves. But we do not know that so far. So we show you both, not just AI mentions, but also citations that include a link to your website so people, visitors know how to visit your website, what pages to access, and so on and so forth. Some other questions? The full presentation, as I said, is available on YouTube on our Ahrefs tutorial channel. Something related to brand radar and how to track your ad visibility with Ahrefs. No, that's not it. Brand mentions, we've done a study on what kind of aspects help you to rank, to get picked actually, because you don't rank in AI search engines to get picked. And it's brand mentions, branded search volume needs to be growing so people know about your brand, and branded citations. So it's a combination of all three of them. Yep, no worries. As I said, I didn't go through search demand. These are all the search queries for which you appear in Google, and these are branded search queries if the volume here is growing. So if the results themselves are growing, you can also see the growth rate for the past 12 months from 10%. Let's see. I can also track those, for example, that those keywords that have grown 10% their search volume in the past 12 months. That means that people are remembering our brand, and they already know about us, so they're interested in us. The other one is web pages. So these are unique referring domains that are linking to our website. They're also taken into account because, as I said, these are branded citations, not branded mentions. Okay, I see no more questions. If you have them, leave them in the chat. Gonna move on to our next thing. So now, for example, you know that you get traffic from AI search chatbots. You've also optimized to see what kind of AI answers mention your brand and whether or not there are gaps between you and your competition. Next thing is to actually check whether or not your competitors are actually generating content with AI, so they get picked up by those AI search engines. Now, there's two ways to do this, but I'm just going to show you one very simple one. So for that, I'm going to go back to Site Explorer. Again, this is our competitive intelligence tool. Let's go to ahrefs.com/blog because we have a bunch of articles here. And then we shall go to the top pages report. This one, for anybody that doesn't know, it shows me all the pages that are getting the most organic traffic from Google for ahrefs.com/blog, whatever URL you're putting in here. And if you see here, I don't want any kind of comparison. Don't compare. If you see here, there's a new column. It's called AI content level. And this AI content level allows you to see whether or not that page was created with AI and what's the level of AI, how much percentage of that article or that page was written with the help of AI. So apparently our content team is doing quite great. So this can be used two ways: internally for your own team for content syndication. If you're the content manager or the content editor and you want to see, okay, is my team performing well? Are they creating stuff that's unique from their own POV, or are they just copy pasting stuff back and forth? Then you can check here and you can see that it's low, it's fine. Some might be moderate. Probably you'll see this with landing pages, which is fine. I'm the guy, for example, who writes landing pages and I use this. So it's an interesting thing to see and quite predictable that people are using AI more for landing pages and less for blog posts. If you want to see, let's click on this one, moderate, what kind of percentage was written by chatbots and what kind of chatbots. You will see them here. So we have an AI ratio for the content of that page, which gets scrapped. And we see 7% was written by Claude, 5% by Llama from Facebook, 13% from an unidentified LLM. There's no AI and human mix, so no editing on top of AI written content, and 76% is written mostly human, which is fine. We do not want to get too much into this. There is some gray area, I agree. And we also, for example, mentioned this here. So AI detection is based on pattern and it's not always 100% accurate. So in case you want to benchmark your content team on this, don't necessarily do it 100%. Take it with a grain of salt. And just to mention, we don't include here, for example, articles that have less than 300 words because it's not worth, probably that blurb of text was written with AI. This was the first use case. The second one is to check it for your competition. So if you see they have a lot of pages that are AI generated and they still produce a lot of traffic, then probably it might make sense for you to also create that. You might also correlate their traffic drop with a high number of AI written content. So you can check, snoop into your competition and see what kind of pages are AI generated and whether or not you can do a better job than them. Some questions here. Again, I'm going through a funnel more or less. So as I said, first we see if we get traffic from AI search, then we go and check all the AI brand mentions that we have versus our competitors and whether or not we can optimize for them. Third, we want to check also our competitors' content, whether or not it's AI written, because the next step is going to be to create content that gets ranked in Google and also picked up in AI search. Questions so far in the chat, in the Q&A panel. Come on, don't be shy. Anonymous attendee was very, I would say not shy, so very proactive. You can ask some questions. I'm sure you do have some. Okay, nobody? If nobody has some questions, then I'll move on to the next step. And as I said, that is to create content for Google and AI search. And the star of Ahrefs is called AI Content Helper. This is, as the name suggests, an AI assistant that will help you write content, high quality one that gets ranked in Google and also picked up in AI search. Now, let me close some tabs here. I'm going to go to AI Content Helper. And let's say I already have a keyword in mind, investing for beginners. And you can probably check this without adding your article, but for the sake of having some actionable data, I'm gonna paste a URL here. And what I wanna do here is basically optimize for this target keyword, investing for beginners. This is my article, so I wanna improve it, and I want my location in the United States. Now there's also a brand kit, so in case you have a certain way to assert your brand to your customers with tone, style, length, blah, 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 you can actually create one here. I'm just selected one for Ahrefs blog. We have a different one, so I'm gonna instruct the AI to follow our own writing guidelines. Let's click on create document. And the next step will be to actually check the competition for that target keyword. So it's going to check the top 10 search results in Google, and it's going to automatically map out the search intent. You don't need to do the research manually. You can just scroll through this list and see what's the dominant one. So the dominant one based on the top 10 is beginner investing education. So I can optimize for this intent. Then the next one is a step-by-step guide to start investing. The last one is a personalized or contemporary investing advice. It's actually a YouTube video, so probably wouldn't optimize for this. If you don't want to group by search intent, you can toggle this off and you can toggle each individual competing URL that you think might make sense. But to make things simple, I'm going to go with beginner investing education. So I'm going to instruct our AI to optimize for this kind of search intent. I'll hit continue. Gonna take a few seconds. And what you'll get the target keyword here at the top, investing for beginners. That's optimized for the United States. And we're also going to get the current article that we've already written and is live. And that's going to be compared against all the topics that we found, all the subtopics that were covered by the competition. And you'll also get a score, an individual score on how well your article is covering each subtopic in relation to your competitors. So overall, the content score is quite mid, it's 46%. And I can scroll down to see what kind of subtopics we've missed or we might improve. So for example, brokerage accounts and platforms has a 0% coverage. We should probably include it. Investment terminology and education, 18. That's a low one. And 67 is actually good. 34 is another one which is prime for optimizing. Remember, we're not trying here to bring everything to 100%. If you're trying to optimize each subtopic to, I don't know, 75, 80, you should be fine. This should bring the score to 75, 80, or probably even 90. If you need advice on how to improve a specific subtopic, you can click on Ask AI. And what do my competitors say on this topic? We have some prompts here for you, or you can compare my topic coverage to competitors, or even better, you can get recommendations, the actual one, like, okay, what kind of insights can I add that competitors don't have? And this is exactly what's interesting and what I'm interested in, because I want to improve my article to rank even higher in Google. And yeah, it tells me a lot of stuff. What's each of my competitors doing? I can just ask him, like, can you summarize this in a paragraph to be added in the body of my article? It's going to do its job. probably copy paste this. Um, retirement and focus. 1 second. Need to go back. Let me check if trying to find retirement in the main body. But an even better way to do that, let me go back to chat topic, sorry, is to click on the highlight one. So let me see 1 second. Retirement, where is retirement? Retirement planning and the topic discussed is okay. I can click on highlight and this is going to show me all retirement planning and accounts. Let me uncheck the rest. It's going to show me what kind of sentences are covering my topic. So it's easier for me to see, okay, this is where I should probably focus on, and this is where I need to add more text. So apparently we're only talking about retirement in one sentence. You can also say for the future in cash accounts, and the interest can also blah, blah, blah. Let's say I just want to copy paste here. Second. It's right here. Okay, so you don't need to do like I do. This is just for me to show that you can actually paste this and it should get a better topical score. Let me hit the refresh. Still 48. No, it was 46. It didn't include it. Sorry, my bad. So it went from 46 to 48. Should go live probably. I found, yeah, as you can see here, it was 46, then it went to 48 because I added some more context from my competition on how to actually cover this topic and get higher rankings in Google. Now, I do not recommend this because you're basically copy pasting stuff. You need to also double check it, fact check it, and present it from your POV. So if you don't have the required expertise, you can also select that, ask AI to rephrase, improve the writing, make it shorter, simplify the language, you name it. What I want to show you here is the Google part, so you can write articles that cover a specific topic better than your competitors, and we benchmark that against your competitors. The good part is that you can also see this highlight feature that helps you see what kind of topics you should cover, and those topics are actually signals for AI search. 1 second. My bad. What I want to say is that in terms of AI search, how things work, just gonna present very easily. So investing for beginners here is our main keyword. When it comes to AI search, they're not searching like Google. They are using a fan out query. Imagine a fan for investing for beginners, and it's gonna search for similar keywords with investing for beginners. So it's probably gonna be stocks, options, retirement plans, so on and so forth. These are all things connected, keywords or topics connected related to investing for beginners. It's then going to search the best content for each one, and it's going to bring that up into an AI answer, a comprehensive one, so you get the most comprehensive answer. And this is where we come in. The content score is also modeled after that AI search. It's called co-similarity. I don't want to go into it, but essentially, if you want to see what kind of subtopics were covered, you can use the highlight feature and see where exactly in the body it was covered and how you can increase the topical coverage. So you also increase your chances of getting picked up in AI search results. Now, we have a bunch of other reports here. So for example, I can get title tag suggestions from my competitors, meta description, headings. I can scrap all their headings, see how they've structured their content and how can I structure mine. And also the competing websites, how well they've covered all those articles for the intent that we selected initially. Okay. Yeah, David, we have a question. Would this content helper be useful for regular SEO? That's exactly what I presented in the beginning. That's its main intent. So we first optimize for a keyword in the United States for the Google SERPs in the United States for an article that we've written already. And we're going to pick up the search intent, the dominant search then for that keyword or the one that you wish. We're then gonna check all the subtopics of your article, how well you've covered them against the competitors in the top 10 search results. So the applicability is for SEO, but it also extends to AEO, so to AI search, because as I said, AI search has a different, I wouldn't call it a ranking model, but a way to surface AI answers. And we also factor that in to the content score. So you make sure that the subtopics you have created the most comprehensive article that increases the chances to get picked by AI search, because AI search is always looking for the most comprehensive article. Carmen, do search engines discriminate against AI written content? More and more content writers use AI, even if it's only for grammar improvement. By search engines, do you mean classic search engines? If yes, then yes, Google is playing at two different levels. On one hand, they have the Google Helpful Content Update. Probably a lot of people have been hit by it, which demotes AI written content. You've probably also seen those kind of charts that go, the traffic drops are very steep because most of the content was written with AI. So yes, Google does discriminate against AI written content, but it does say that some part of AI written content, a portion of it is still okay. And as I've shown you before, we have a way to check that in the Site Explorer tool. You go to the top pages and you see what kind of, let me go back to show you what I talk about. Doesn't let me go back. Okay, Site Explorer, ahrefs.com, for example, go to top pages, and I can see here the AI content level column to see, okay, how are my competitors covering this? How is this correlated to the traffic, performance, so on and so forth. Takes some time. We have a lot of pages. We have 25,000 pages. So yeah, you can see here low, high, moderate, pretty standard, to be honest, moderate to high for landing pages. So I don't think Google might bother them too much. It's more about authentic content for long tail keywords. So mostly articles. Okay, some other questions. Carmen, I mean, AI engines also ChatGPT. I do not know that, to be honest. It's a black hat world there still. We're still learning. We're still at the forefront of this, at the frontier of this kind of industry of new era. And we're also releasing a lot of studies about this, but so far we didn't. Zeal, I just tried in real time and the article section is blank. Is there a paid level necessary for the AI content helper? AI Content Helper is available for free for one document, I think. Yes. Otherwise, it's an add-on. It's available for 99 bucks a month, and it's probably blank. I'm not sure how it looks on your end, but make sure you add the article URL for which you want to optimize for. Nonetheless, you should be able to test it for one article. If not, it means you already tried once before, but it's an add-on and it's available for 99 bucks a month. You'll see here the available limits. Okay. Last question, Mohammed. Does the AI content helper scrap my article and then optimize, or does it write the whole new article? Well, in case you add a article URL, it scraps the whole article like I showed you before. So investing for beginners, I can click on it, and it then compares it on a subtopic level against the competition. It doesn't write you one on your behalf. If you leave it blank, let me show you, investing for beginners. But we did a video about it on how to actually create one from scratch when you enter a blank URL. I'm gonna send you that. Let me see if I have it here. YouTube, Ahrefs tutorials. Yep. And we do have it here, how to create high quality AI SEO content. So, and I'll paste this in the comments. But I get it. You want basically to have a draft, an outline, and then you can probably create an article based on it. It's already discussed. We have this in plans. I don't have a release date. So far, we've come up with this kind of workaround, so you can check it in the chat. Okay, I don't have too much time to go over this. The last step is Ahrefs MCP. MCP stands for Model Context Protocol, so it's a safe way to access a third-party tool's API data, in our case Ahrefs, and converse chat with your preferred AI chatbot to get all that information from Ahrefs without using the Ahrefs interface. So forget about Ahrefs UI if you want to conduct SEO or AEO on your own, and you don't need you don't need to learn Ahrefs, or you think you don't need to learn it. As I said here, you can turn Ahrefs into your personal marketing assistant. It's available for enterprise for now, but will be available to all plans very soon. If not this month, then probably next month. How does it work? So my preferred guy is Claude, my AI chatbot. So good evening, Andre. Let me just make this smaller. And I'll bring this into, let me make this bigger. So what I can do here is connect it to Ahrefs, search and tools. And you see here I have Ahrefs already connected. I have 42 endpoints that will feed my Claude agent. And I can just ask him, like, hey, Claude, find me high search volume, low competition keywords for Monday.com. This is a popular project management tool. Probably you're most used to it. So I'm just going to hit enter. And yeah, my bad. I didn't specify that it needs to be, let me check if it's search after Ahrefs. Yeah. I didn't say using Ahrefs data. I forgot the most important part. So now what it does, it accesses all of our API endpoints that are available at the moment, 42. It does the research basically on your behalf. So it accesses Keywords Explorer matching terms report to expand probably on a seed keyword and find more. Then it goes to the matching terms report for task management and workflow related keywords, as you hear. Does more or less the same thing for a bunch of seed keywords. So it can create a massive list for you that's search volume, high and low competition keywords. So those are low hanging fruit keywords. Takes some time, but essentially you don't need to use Ahrefs UI. Okay, so it looks like they've already finished their research, and they're also categorizing all of those keywords into excellent opportunities, low-hanging fruit, industry-specific keywords, software category keywords, so on and so forth. It's explaining you specifically what you instructed them. So project plan template, for example, has 5,700 monthly searches, a KD keyword difficulty of 12 that's low, and a high traffic potential, which means the first page for that particular keyword in Google gets 53,000 search visits a month. You can go much you can go sideways. You can probably create a table that's more visible. You can also get content recommendations. They already give you that. So the point is you can turn any chatbot preferred one, for now it's available in ChatGPT and Claude, into your personal Ahrefs assistant using Ahrefs data. And as I said, this will be available only, it's available now for enterprise, but it will be available to all paid plans in this month by the end, or probably next month. That's it. Let's see. Do we have some questions and some question and answers here? Richard, I don't know the cost, so I cannot help you there. Mohammed, can we connect it to ChatGPT? Yes, you will be able to connect it to ChatGPT, Claude, and Copilot. Okay, Scott is asking here, you showed us how to see if AI was writing the articles. Do you know if AI blogs hurt search results? Yes, they do. There's a bunch of people on the internet who are always trying to Yeah, I'm screen sharing. Let me not share my screen. Stop share. There's always a bunch of people who are trying to brag about, hey, I've got this amount of traffic with this amount of articles, 4,000, 5,000, written by AI. They brag on LinkedIn and they get demoted like 1 week later. So if it's primarily, I would say highly written by AI, then yeah, chances are higher it's going to be demoted by Google. Google already has an algorithm update. It's called Helpful Content Update that was rolled out in 2024 that targets specifically that. But they've also changed their guidelines to say that a certain degree of AI is allowed in those kind of articles. That's why we've created that AI content level column so you know whether or not you need to syndicate your content, tone down the AI, and spruce up the creativity and unique POV. I hope this answers your question. Any more questions, folks? We're towards the end. We have 5 more minutes. Let me check if we have more. Mark is asking anything that startups, small brands should do. Yeah, get better at SEO. Basically, as I said, the signals to get mentioned, get picked up by AI search are brand mentions, branded search volume needs to be growing, and also branded AI citations. That means that we're coming back to a world of marketing from 10 years ago where brand is king. You need to build a brand slowly and invest in other channels, not just SEO. So I'm talking about PR, partnerships, communities such as Reddit, Quora, so on and so forth. So any kind of channel that increases the surface of your online brand footprint, so to say. But the basis is SEO. All those people that tell you it's different, it's AEO, it's GEO, it's whatever, that's bullshit. It's still SEO. Tom, I'm looking forward to watching this recording. If I still have questions, can I reach out to you? Yeah, perfectly fine. You can find me on LinkedIn. Uh, my name is Andre Zitz. You see my name here in the bottom left corner. You can also chat with our support team. There's a chat in the bottom right corner. Any kind of questions you have, we're here to answer them. Mark is asking, should we try for the Gemini result while we build SEO with deep content? I would say the easiest win are AI overviews that are directly tied to SEO because SEO is writing, as you said, deep content that covers every keyword in depth. So you become the most comprehensive answer to that particular search intent, not keyword. And AI overviews basically does that. As I said, the fan out query, you have a keyword, then it breaks that keyword into multiple related synonyms, keywords to that seed keyword. It then finds the best content that answers each related keyword, and then it brings it all together to answer the seed keyword or prompt in your case. So I would probably go with this and focus on AI overviews. Not sure if it's going to be picked by Gemini, but we've seen that with AI overviews, it's easier if you have your SEO in check. No worries. Come on, folks. We have 2 more minutes, maybe seven. I'm willing to extend my time and see if I can answer some more questions. So if I share my screen again, the process was more or less this one. First, if it's a big if you get traffic from AI search, I showed you how to check if you get referrals from AI search. The next step is to actually optimize for them if you want to increase your brand mentions in ChatGPT, Perplexity, and the likes. The next natural step is to actually create content, of course, because if you don't have content, what are you going to get ranked for? And the first due diligence step is to actually check for AI content generated by your competition, and then to create content that is deep enough for both Google and AI search. Last one was the Ahrefs MCP. I just teased it, a simple prompt in it. And to be honest, this works if you already know SEO. If you don't know SEO, you need to still learn or at least know what to search for, how to interpret data, how to avoid false negatives. So you still need a strong SEO foundation for that. And if you don't have it, we have an Ahrefs Academy, and you can learn how to use Ahrefs there, or you can also learn how to do SEO for beginners. Again, somebody asked if you have a small brand, what to do. Focus on SEO because that's still the basis of AEO, GEO, LLMO, whatever. Stop share. Kathy, with our AI content writing tool, is it careful to create original content and not write too similar or identical to other content on the web? Yeah, I think you've answered your own question. That's a yes. We do not want to create boilerplate content. With AI Content Helper, we help you, we guide more or less the writing process. So we show you which kind of subtopics need to be optimized. And as I said, you don't need to optimize each subtopic to 100% score. If you go to 75, 80, that's fine. You can also check the other competitors. And in our case, I think they didn't even, the competing articles didn't even have that higher scores, but they still were relevant for the search intent. Let me share my screen. So if I go to competitors here, I see that the top articles, number one, fidelity.com has a total score of 63, investor.gov 43, Coursera 41. So you can beat them if you surpass those scores. Ours has a 48, so in theory, it should get picked up higher by number 3 and number 8, which are the articles for which we optimize on this search intent. Mhm. Yeah, Mark, you're pretty spot on. We can use AI to help with our content, but put in the effort and use it for help structure, but don't just copy and paste. Yes, Google's mission is to reward people the fastest, reward searchers the fastest way with the most complete answer. And the more original it is, the higher it will be picked up in Google. There's also a problem. I'm not going to talk it here. AI search chatbots are more or less horde driven. So let's say we have 10 search results on a given topic. If nine say a false thing, something that's bullshit, and you say something that's different, fresh, and probably contrarian to the other nine, you're not going to be picked. That's a problem. I think we have a study on it. Check ahrefs.com/blog, and you'll see what we've noticed so far. We do not know how to fix that. There are a lot of questions. We do also have questions. We try to answer them with studies. As I said, AI search is still something new. It's more like black hat's SEO era because nobody has clear answers and everybody's documenting. That's what we do. Mark, once an article gets picked up and is used for answers, can they be displaced or should they go to greener fields? I showed you we're going to have a topics. I think you're talking about brand radar getting picked up in AI search. We're going to have a topics. Yeah, awesome. So we have a topics. Let me talk with something in front of me. So brand radar. We're going to have this topics report. We're going to cluster all the prompts that respond to a topic so you know what kind of content to prioritize. If you've went on and covered all the prompts that surface your brand for a given topic, you move on to the next topic. So you should be able to create a topical map of all the prompts that mention your brand and take them in the order of the estimated search volume. Can't show you right now, but should come soon. Yep. If you don't have any more questions, once again, thank you for being here and sorry for the glitch in the beginning. This was the first time we used Zoom for our webinars. Usually we use YouTube Live. If you want to check the webinar again, it's available on Ahrefs tutorial on YouTube. Just type in Ahrefs tutorial on YouTube. You're going to find some tutorials on how to use all of those tools that I've talked about. MCP, not yet because it's not released. Brand Radar also partially because it was just released 1 week ago. So please be patient. Otherwise, if you have questions, you can reach me directly on LinkedIn. Again, I'm Andre, head of product marketing here at Ahrefs. And if not, you want to chat with our support team, go into Ahrefs. There's a small bubble chat in the bottom right corner, and you can ask any kind of questions. Those folks are faster than I am, so both ways work. Okay. Thanks a lot, everybody. Not sure how many are still here. Take care and see you in the upcoming webinars. Bye-bye.